Today I want to talk about a chart pattern and technical analysis of stocks that can lead to a huge move. It's probably the most exciting trading setup that you can find. Okay, I'm talking about the bull flag pattern, and I have other videos on YouTube that go over the bull flag pattern, how to trade it, what it looks like, how to identify it, and so forth. But today I want to show you a bull flag pattern that can be found on a 5-day or 10-day chart. As we said before, the bull flag pattern is where a stock goes up 90% or more within 2 months. It consolidates, goes sideways for a while, either forming a rectangle in that consolidation or a pennant with a downward slope to the top of the flag consolidation, so it looks like a pennant. But in either case, the stock can break out of that. If it does break out of that, it often moves up 20% to 100% or more in a short time frame. Now, normally it takes a few weeks for these patterns to develop, but sometimes they develop in a very short time frame. Right now we're seeing a pretty breathtaking rally in certain oil stocks. The long-term trend in oil was broken about a week or so ago, and since then these little oil stocks have been on fire, and it's pretty much a record-breaking short covering rally so far, and there's probably investors jumping in too, hoping that oil will go back into the 50s or higher later this year, early next year, and a lot of experts are actually predicting that now, including Goldman Sachs. And so these stocks are on the move right now. And I want to show you an example of this chart pattern, though, because if you find this chart pattern in your own trading, if you get a breakout to the upside and strong volume, you could see a huge move in a short time frame. So it's a great pattern to trade. And when I say bull flag pattern, as we said in the other videos, I'm not talking about a regular flag pattern. I made the distinction between a flag pattern and a bull flag pattern. A flag pattern is just when a stock moves sideways after either a move up or down. There's bear flags and there's bull flags in that sense, okay? But I'm defining bull flag a little bit differently in that a bull flag pattern is a flag pattern where the stock goes up 90% or more in those 2 months and then goes sideways and then jumps out of the pattern and makes a huge move from there. So the bull flag pattern is a very bullish case of a flag pattern. Okay, I just want to remind everyone of that. So here's Seadrill, SDRL, from last week. And, again, what's really special about this stock is that it formed this bull flag pattern within a few days. So we can actually see this pattern on a 5-minute chart over the past 5 days. And here on Thursday, on March 3rd, we can see the stock made a high and then moved sideways and downward, actually, in this pennant here. It's more of a pennant than a flag. Once it broke that downtrend in the flag, okay, it started to make its next move higher. And that's what you want to look for. That's the entry point. If there is a pennant or a downtrend, uniform downtrend within the flag portion of the pattern. Okay, the other entry point is a close above the, or move above the top of the flagpole. Okay, so you can see in this pattern on the stock, on Thursday it had moved from $1.50 or so a couple days to the left of this chart. You could see that. I've got a 5-day chart here. But if you look back 2 more days, you'll see that it was down in the 160 area. And then it jumped very strongly up into the $3 range, a little above, and then it went into the flag portion of the consolidation. Okay, so you can't really see the flag so much just because the stock moves so much higher after breaking out of the pattern. So it doesn't look like a flag pattern necessarily right here, but there is a 90% plus move into the flag. Okay, and then it broke out, and you can see here how within 1 day, it broke out and more than doubled in price. In fact, I think it almost tripled in price within 24 hours. Okay, and you can see that, that big breakout here, the big volume coming in, 5-minute chart again, at the beginning of Friday, that big volume pushing the stock up, it pulled back a little bit, and then it just took off. Now, if you look closely, you'll see other bull flag patterns in this trend on a 5-minute chart. Now here, you can see around 11 o'clock or so that the stock price moves sideways in the 5-minute chart, moves sideways in a very narrow consolidation, and the price reached the moving average and jumped out of there and then really took off. In fact, from that point, it about doubled in price within 2 or 3 hours. Okay, so I just want to let you know that you can find these flag patterns, these bull flag patterns, which are the special case of a flag pattern where you have that huge move up into the flag. Okay, you have to have that first. A regular flag pattern that just moves up 10-20% won't cut it. Okay, so if you see these big moves in a short period of time, you can sometimes find these patterns on an intraday chart. In this case, a 5-minute chart, sometimes a 10-minute chart. I think if you use a 10-minute chart, you would see the same patterns. Okay, so you find these a few times a year. The last time we saw this was back a month or two ago. The one that we noticed, I think it was LEI was a ticker symbol, and it did the same thing. It moved up into a bull flag pattern. It jumped out of there, and it soared from there, more than doubled in price within a few hours. So if you're a day trader, you look for this pattern, because if you get that huge move into the horizontal consolidation and it breaks out in really strong volume, look out. It could really take off. That's another great example of a bull flag pattern on a shorter time frame, on a 5-minute chart. So like I said, look for those patterns developing. Also look for other natural resource stocks, natural gas stocks, oil stocks in the weeks ahead, and you'll probably find more of these patterns, these bull flag patterns that can make a huge move right after the breakout. Okay, just want to mention that we're members of the Better Business Bureau. We have an A+ rating with them. We offer stock trading setups on our site. If you go to our site, you can get a free trial, and we deliver bull flags, coupled handle patterns, other technical breakouts on just the stocks with rising estimates and elite growth stocks. Okay, so stocks that have the fundamental momentum to go along with the technical momentum to make a huge move higher. So go over to our site, sign up for that free trial, and you'll get some of these patterns sent to you as they're going into the consolidation or as they're breaking out. And there's also a book on our site that explains our swing trading setup. And subscribe to our YouTube channel and like the video, and we'll have a lot more of these in the future.